I have been in the business field for quite a long time now. It's been almost 10 years now. So, my advice would be if you're going into a competitive space, it would always be a hard thing to find your place in that. So, you need to find a less competitive space inside agency spectrum and then focus on that. Map all your things that you're currently doing on the paper, and then you need to find help for that. Because if you have already exhausted your ideas, you need someone who can give you an bird's view. We did, and it has been working for us. So I would always suggest you go to that route.
What has been your best month in USD revenue wise?
I think the last couple of months would be regarded as our first month. So I think we touched 40 last month to 40K. Yeah.
So surpassing 40K USD in revenue in less than 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, perfect. Thanks very much for doing this, Talha. How are you, man? How have things been?
I'm doing good, man. Everything, it's a smooth ride and also a
Yeah,
bumpy ride at the same time. So yeah,
up and
it's just,
down, up and down. Well, perfect. Look,
yeah.
usually I like to start these kind of interviews with a bit of a background on you. So tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey. Have you always been into entrepreneurship and give us a little bit of a background on your journey?
Yes, I mean, I have been in the business field for quite a long time now. It's been almost 10 years now. So my first business, it was more related to a general order supplier thing where I would get things for the people in the such those in the market and then deliver those. So it was common at that time in our country. So I used to do that, and then I slowly shifted towards the digital thing. I did my first business in the, I mean, it was an SMM thing where I used to just post on the Facebook pages and Instagram for some
Just
of
social
my
media
clients.
management.
Yeah, but it didn't go well. My first two clients there were my own relatives, and then I thought I needed some sort of an experience, an industry experience. I joined at the last year of my university. I joined as an internee in a local company here. It was Active Media. It is a quite a bit, I mean, a famous event management company here. So I joined that company, and they gave me a task to build a digital sort of department for them.
Okay.
I started that there. I got all of my ads experience, all of the SMM experience, and then after that, I took 1 year break, and then when I came back, I again joined as a marketing manager in one of the US firms. I spent 1 year there, and after that we built Growth Guild. Me and Saad, we joined hands, and then we started exploring. At the initial, it was just, I mean, an open book for us. We wanted to do everything, and then we slowly
Mhm.
figured out what we were good at, and then we pursued that.
So that was your first kind of experience into ads, social media management, kind of the SMM model.
Yeah, for my own thing, it was the first one. But before that, I used to do in the event management company, and also when I
Hmm.
was I acted as a marketing manager in my previous job, so I did that too. But for my own clients, for my own company, this was the Growth Guild is the first thing
Got you,
where I.
got you. So what is it that you like, or what is it that attracted you to the kind of digital marketing or the SMMA business model?
Yeah, it's a very funny answer that I have because previously I used to do the general order supply thing where you have to go to the markets, and it's all, I mean, you'll have to go to different markets, and it was mostly walk, and it was more sort of a physical thing. So I
Hmm.
never liked that. I wanted to sit in front of the computer and do all of my things there. So
Yeah,
that was one that drive me to this thing, the digital sort of thing, and then I try to explore what's the thing that makes me do it, that gives me some sort of accomplishment. So the ads thing, it's more because I am a good, I mean, I'm more sort of a person who likes reading psychology, consumer behavior.
yeah,
So that one, I mean, gave me the thing which make me go towards ads and
yeah,
everything.
yeah. I think the thing with SMMA is, I spoke to the SAD about this, and I kind of speak to all the guys when we're talking about social media marketing. There are so many different facets involved. You obviously have the ads facet, which you are an expert in.
Yeah.
You have sales, hiring, outreach, client acquisition, management. Like there are so many different facets of it. Um, and some people would obviously see that as kind of a drawback, like you have to be good at all these different things. But I
Yeah.
actually really like that you have to be good at all these different things because not only are they brilliant skills for basically any business. If you craft all them skills, if you get really good at all them things, you can walk into any business in the world and really do well.
Yeah.
But at its core, if you can market, if you can run ads, if you can, get customers for your own business, for other people's businesses, that is a very valuable skill. Unfortunately, that's what you're actually an expert in, running ads. So it's a really, really valuable skill to have wherever you go in your entrepreneurial career.
Yeah, at the bottom of it, it's always consumer behavior. So if you can pick that up, if you can read what people want and you can find solution, even in ads, you need to find right creatives in SMMA. Social media management, you need to find right creatives that the organic audience would pick up. So if you can pick those things up, you'll always do good in SMMA sort of
Yeah.
work. So yeah.
I agree, definitely. I hope you're enjoying this student interview so far, and if these results have got you pumped to scale your own agency, I've got something very special for you. Below this video, you'll see a link where you can book a call for my one-to-one mentorship program. Inside, I'm guaranteeing you your first 5 clients on your agency journey. I can do this because I've crafted systems and strategies that I know work after coaching hundreds of other agency owners in your position to 10, 20, and even 30K per month. I only coach 10 people per month as it's all one-to-one and super custom. So if this sounds of interest, click the link below and book a call. Now back to the interview. So going back to the start of your agency journey, and we'll get into how quickly you've actually scaled your agency in a bit, because that's what everybody watching wants to know, all the the cool, sexy bits about scaling. But we'll start at the beginning. So tell me a little bit about the start of your agency and kind of the intricacies of landing your first couple of clients and growing right from the beginning.
So the start, we started as 3 partners. We all, gave ourselves what we were good at. For instance, I was good at management, organizing things in a proper graph and a proper hierarchy. We have one partner who is good at technical stuff, who knows how to solve problems. That comes in SMMA, and then the one person, the Saad, who's good in sales. So we figured it out. If I can do all of these things from the start, so same was the opinion of Saad and Shahid. So we divided this sort of stuff and we landed our first client. Saad was always on sale, so we landed our first client in the first month. I think we got 3 or 4 clients, but those were just small projects related to high level and then ads. One was in related to ads. So we got that in first month and we scaled, I think, pretty much quickly. For the first 4 months, we were at the pole of, I think we got 8 clients that were 4 were on retainers and 4 had some projects that they gave us on and off in different time
And
periods. So
did those though, that first kind of influx of clients, because I'm sure like me, like a lot of agency owners at the start, I know for me, my first three, four, 5 clients kind of validated the business model and showed me, okay, you can actually grow a significant business with this model. You can get clients, you can get cash in. Did that kind of have the same validation for you when you got those first couple of clients in?
yeah, actually, those set the parameters for us where and showed us where our agency should go. For instance, we were just an open book. So first
Hmm.
client, it was related to high level. I think it was a build out automation. Then the second client, it was more related to site building in high level. And then the third one was the person who had all the 3 things. He had a conference coming up, so he had to build. A landing page at the end there was there were some products that he needed to sell and I had to run ads for that. So that basically laid the foundation for us where we should go. That was go high level and then media buying. And the third thing was how it gave us a question how we can, scale that, keeping these 2 things in mind. So though the initial client actually gave us the roadmap how we should go moving forwards,
Yeah.
and it was a validation for us.
Yeah, that's interesting. And what's also interesting is just getting onto your niche. You run a go high level agency, kind of like a broad agencies, but specifically focusing on back end systems on go high level for businesses, which is really, really interesting because when I started my agency 5 years ago, go high level wasn't even a thing. Well, it was a thing, but it was not as popular as it is now. I certainly didn't use it for the first couple of years of my agency, and it's kind of shows you how ever evolving the SMMA landscape is. Kind of the digital marketing and the advertising landscape is constantly ever evolving, and you have actually used one of the new softwares, Go High Level, which is a beast, to actually anchor your agency. And so, tell me what you like about Go High Level and why you chose to kind of focus primarily on it.
Why I like go high level, it's a thing that is easily teachable. That was the first thing because we are on a HR outsourcing model. So the first thing is the thing that we went into. It is a thing that is easily teachable to other people, and people can do a lot of stuff. It has value for client. For instance, if we pick up any sort of niche, it has some sort of usability for them. If you are in the knowledge industry, you mostly want conferences, Zoom conferences, email outreach, newsletters. So it has that for you. If you are, for instance, gym, so it has some sort of usability for you. You can create product there. You can also schedule appointments based on your specific product for your gym. There's a subscription model there inside High Level. So it has a broad spectrum of services that everyone can use, every business can use. So I mean, that's why I think it has. I mean, I like it because of that. So
Yeah. It's a beast. It's a beast. It's a phenomenal software. It's a phenomenal platform. They're constantly updating it, constantly adding things to
yeah,
it. And it's a must-have if you're an agency owner or doing services for agencies because it literally is custom built for everything you would need to have in order to run an agency or do agency work for clients.
yeah.
Um, so that kind of leads into my next question. So we focused on go high level and we've niched down. Tell me a little bit about how it felt now, a couple of months in, you're starting to get some cash in, you're seeing success, the business model's validated, you've niched down and go high level. Tell me how it felt during that period where you're starting to scale and it's really starting to get exciting and you're starting to get clients in and it's starting to grow.
I mean, when you start a business, if you are earning some money, it's always validating for you. But for me, it's always how I see the thing in the next couple of years. Is the thing evolving? And if I am putting effort into some sort of a product or some sort of a service, so will it give me the same yield a couple of years down the line? So I try to solve that problem. So the thing with Go High Level is, it's if you even if you see in the broader spectrum, 3 year 4 years down the line, it's currently, I mean, they have AI calling, they have AI chatbot built into their system. So if you see in the broader spectrum, 3 years down the line, it would still be yielding us some good cash, some good amount of money, and we can always scale on it. We can create our own SaaS on it. We can develop different sort of skills. People, we can give people the same sort of skills that would be beneficial for them in the longer run too. So it's always validating, and the question for me is always if it's going to give us the same sort of yield for a couple of years down the line. So it I see it as a very prominent product that would, I mean, be giving us good return 2 years or 3 years down the line.
Yeah, 100%. And there's so many different ways you can monetize it. You can monetize it by selling the service. You can monetize it by
Yeah,
reselling the SaaS. You can sell it as an affiliate. There's so many different ways you can make money from it. And
yeah,
upsells, I know, are a huge part of your business as well. So it's very, very, I think one of the huge pros of Go High Level is just how monetizable it is. And that's what I really like about it.
yeah.
And I think that's what you guys have really, really latched onto and are doing really well riding that momentum wave. So I think one more question just on that. I guess this is not something that I guess people want to hear about or want to talk about, but what were some of the toughest parts, as you were scaling? And what were some of the, because as every entrepreneur knows, the highs are high, but the lows are low. So what were some of the toughest parts of when you were in that scaling period?
So the toughest part, it's always the problems that comes with a business, with a new business. For instance, the initially the toughest part was solving out where we want to go, where we figured out it's go high level, and then the second question was how, if you want to scale, what's the thing that you can do? What are the options that you have? For instance, if we didn't know we will go as an HR outsourcing company, we would just build out different build outs in high level or sell media buying. But then the question you need to solve, if was that scalable in the long run? So it wasn't. So then we started building people around us who can, I mean, who can we share work with. So, and the third thing is, when it's always now it's a capacity problem for us when we are, mm, I think, at a good height at the moment. So now it's all building, solving clients' problem. If they have AI is getting integrated into the high level, so solving that, getting to know the new updates, teaching those new updates. So it's, I
Hmm.
mean, so these sort of problems you'll have to always solve when you're into, I mean, building a business. So currently it's a capacity problem. You'll have to know how you solve that. So yeah,
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because for anyone watching that doesn't know, Talha's agency has very specialist staff on board that are specialists and go high level. So, and I know we've spoken about this, a problem you've had is because you have these specialist staff, if a client drops off or something doesn't go through and you have these staff that you need to place, a problem with you is because you put so much time into training them, you don't want to let
yeah,
these guys go. So you
yeah,
are kind of under pressure to not only place these guys because of the time and money from your end spent training them, you also just don't want to let people off. So that's probably
yeah.
one of the main problems with scaling, has it?
Yeah, exactly. That's the main problem because you put a lot of your resources in the training. You give them your time, and then all these new integrations when these are, I mean, high level just launched their new updates last month. So there are a lot of new updates. So you teach them those, and then they are spending a lot of money on that too. So you obviously need to capitalize on that and some yield on that. So obviously, you don't want to lay them off and then fill out the capacity. If you are, I mean, if there are a lot of clients pouring into your end, then you
Yeah,
need
that's
to
I was about to
work
say that's the
more.
other side. The other side
Yeah,
is this is something you've had recently is you've had so many clients you actually don't have enough associates to place with them, which is a great
yeah,
problem to have, but
yeah,
nonetheless a problem and a headache.
yeah, exactly. So obviously, it's a two-way street. So you figure out one street, then you need to see the other end too at the same time. So yeah,
Yeah, 100%. So like I think how old is your agency now? Is it 2 years? 18 months, two
yeah,
years?
almost 2 years. Yep.
Almost 2 years. And this is incredible. I think the speed at which you've scaled is just insane. But it goes back to showing you how quickly you can move in the agency space. I said
Yeah,
all the time, it is the best business model. If you want to start out and you want to scale to really good numbers, 30, 40, 50K per month within 1 to 2 years, there's no better business model than the agency model because you can move so fast. But I guess in the last 2 years, tell the viewers, tell anyone who's watching, what has been your best month in USD revenue wise?
I think the last couple of months would be regarded as our first month. So we almost touched 40, and then I think we'll be crossing 40 this month. And I think we touched 40 last month too, 40K. So I think we have
Yeah.
done pretty much good.
So
Yeah.
surpassing 40K USD in revenue in less than 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. So if I see 1 year back, the last December, so we were almost at, I think it was our sixth or fifth or 6 months. So we were at 5K or 4K per month. So
Yeah.
now in the next, I think, 1 year, we have grown a lot. So
So in 1 year, you've went from 5K per month to 40K per month.
yeah, exactly.
Insane.
And
That's insane. I don't, there's no other business model where you could do that. Like, and I sound like a broken record because I say this all the time, but if you try to do that in drop shipping, in trading, Amazon APA, any of these kind of other online, make money online businesses, to get those kind of numbers, I mean, I don't know how long it would take. And your margins are so low in all those business models. That's what the gurus forget to tell you. The margins are so low. Like
yeah,
it's really, really incredible. And I think a huge strength that you guys have is you were very smart right from the beginning. I remember when I first started my business, my very first mentor, he used to say to me, a partnership is a sinking ship. He was like, stay away from a partnership. But I think the way that you guys have done it in terms of, you sat down and you divided out who's good at what, you focus on that. You focus on
yeah.
sales, you focus on service delivery, you focus on operations, I think is why you were able to scale so quickly. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean that's obviously the right answer to it because I know what I'm good at. Saznad, he's what he's good at, and the third partner he knows what he's good at. So if you know your strengths, so obviously you can always capitalize on that. And we both, I think Saad and me, we both have previous business experiences, and we know how to, I mean, move forward. And I mean, we already figured it out. So what sort of work we can do, and what's our strengths. That thing has helped us a lot.
Yeah. And just touching on that, like obviously that's an incredible achievement. How is your daily life different? If it is different in terms of when you started your agency to now, how is that like scaling to those kind of numbers, which I know is a lot of money in your country, and it's a lot of money anywhere, to be honest,
Yeah.
but I know it's a lot of money in your country. So how has your life changed in terms of scaling and achieving that kind of monthly revenue?
The life, it's on personal aspect, it's I have more time to do different stuff. For instance, previously I was always in front of my laptop. I would the last year I was I would be solving out different problems inside high level, figuring out different things. We have team members who do that for us, and we obviously see sit at the back seat and see oversee everything. So that is the one thing that I would say it's different 1 years down the. I mean, if I see 1 year back, but obviously it's still a struggling thing because you need to be always up to date to different things, and
Yeah.
this digital space, it's a tricky space. You'll have to obviously see what's the new thing that's coming in, and how you can, I mean, find your space in that spectrum. So obviously
Yeah.
yeah.
That makes sense. Like hiring out, I guess I was the exact same. And that's kind of the goal with the agency model. You want to work so hard that you can pay people to do things you don't want to do. So
Mm,
obviously in any business, if it's agency, if it's anything, there are aspects of the business you don't enjoy and you don't want to do.
yeah.
And if you can build it to a certain level, whether that's 5K per month, 10K per month, 20K per month, make a few hires and get people to do that thing that you don't want to do. So you can focus on whether it's income producing activities or sales or whatever aspect of the agency you do enjoy. That's when
Yeah.
it starts to become very enjoyable. And that's where you start to get fulfillment. And to be honest, those things that you don't enjoy doing, once you hire out for that, that person's probably better at that anyway because they can focus on that and
Yeah.
you don't have to do it yourself, not enjoying it. So that's definitely one of the first things that I did. And one of the main things that I think took a lot of heavy lifting off my shoulders in terms of pressure to just necessarily do everything at once as an agency owner. You can get overwhelmed with that very, very easily. But
Yeah.
yeah, so like, is there, in terms of the agency business model, what would you say is, I guess, we've talked about how quickly you can scale. We've talked about, leveraging your partners. Anyone who's watching, who's thinking about starting an agency, and they're thinking, is this location freedom, time freedom, financial freedom, 20K per month, 40K per month, they're kind of overwhelmed. There's so much noise and information out there. What would you say to that person in terms of, validating the potential behind running an agency?
So, if you want to enter into an agency, the first question that I would like to answer, or I would like to find an answer to, would be uh, if there is a competition in that spectrum. For instance, for us, it was high level. It could be any other thing. There are a lot of things coming up, the AI chatbots, all of these. If you're going into that spectrum, you first need to find an answer if this is a competitive space, because if you're going into a competitive space, it would always be a hard thing to find your place in that. So you need to find a less competitive space inside agency spectrum and then focus on that. But if
Hmm.
you have find the right answer to that, the second question would be to figure out all the in and outs of that. You need to know what happens, test it out. I mean, if you want to build it out on your own expense, learn the scale, you'll have to do that. The second question would be that. And then obviously if you have both of these answers, you can obviously go into the space and you'll always find work for that, because it's already a less competitive space, and people would want the work in that space. So yeah.
And just following on from that, I guess, in your experience, what mistakes do you see a lot? I know I can probably think of 1,000, but what big mistakes do you see beginners making jumping into the agency space? And what advice or what would you say avoid doing in terms of starting an agency out?
Yeah, same thing which I said last. You'll have to find if the field is competitive or not. Because if you are running into the competitive field, you'll obviously find friction there. It would be hard for you to scale from the start. And even if you want to, if you think that that skill, it's your skill, and you need to go into that service. For instance, if it's related to social media management, it's a competitive space there. So if you want to go in here, you'll obviously have to create a sort of differentiation factor which can give you work. So don't go into the thing that has more competition there, or that on which you can't create a differentiation on. So if
Hmm.
you'll have to be wary of these two things starting an agency. So I would
Got you.
definitely say both
Got
of
you.
these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. No, I hear that. And I like it can be hard as well. Like I can see people watching thinking, finding an untapped niche or finding a niche that hasn't been, kind of untapped waters is difficult because there's so many people wanting to do this. There's so many people see the potential in growing a marketing agency. Pretty
Yeah.
much every niche out there has hundreds, if not thousands, of agencies already in it. And it is, I totally get it is hard. Back when I started 5 years ago, there wasn't as many people doing it. Even when you started 2 years ago, there wasn't as many people doing it. So
Yeah, exactly.
my advice on that is if you're going to choose a niche, likelihood is there's going to be a lot of people already in it. So
Yeah.
it's your job to do the due diligence. It's your job to do the research on that niche to find a unique angle, a unique service, a unique spin, separate yourself from all the other agencies that, in God's honest truth, are not very good. They've crap offers, they're boring,
Yeah.
the new cold outreach. And if you can be a little bit better than those, if you can find your unique angle, your unique spin, alongside a work ethic and obviously a drive to do well, you're going to do well. Like in marketing, it's very much like it's not even in my mind a science or a skill. If you speak to enough companies, enough business owners with the worst offer in the world, you're going to find someone eventually on a good day that needs marketing or just happen to be thinking about marketing and you're going to get sales.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't want to do that because that can get very, very boring and put you off the business model. But it's very much about showing up every day, staying consistent, putting in the work, and you will find clients. And if you add a really, really good work ethic to that, along with a unique angle, along with a really, really good knowledge of a niche, you're going to do well. It's like anything. You just got to put in the front loaded groundwork and the foundational research.
Yeah, exactly. That's the differentiation factor I was talking about. So you'll always have to find that if you need to. I mean, find your space in an already established space. So yeah.
For sure. For sure. So my next question would be, and we've been working together for a couple of months, but tell me what your thought process is on mentorship and finding help in the agency space. I know for me, I got my first mentor, I think, 3 to 4 months after starting my agency because I just had no idea what I was doing with service delivery and I needed someone to help me. But since then I've become personally a bit of a mentor addict. I'm always looking for the next mentor to take me on to the next thing. So tell me a little bit about your thought process on mentorship and yeah, take us through that.
So yeah, so my thought process on that, it's a very simple thing. For me, if my ideas are getting exhausted and they're not giving us any yield, so you'll have to find someone who can give you an idea or show you the path where you want to go. For instance, for us, it was obviously we were exhausted where we should go for the sales now. We already had the one line established in the community. So the second thing, what are the other options that we needed? So that's why we went to you, and we when we tried first time, it worked for us. So the mentor, it can oversee a different aspect of your business. For instance, for us, we told you what sort of work we were doing in terms of sales. So you gave us an idea that you guys can explore this. You guys can explore this. So a mentor who can oversee or who can see the whole picture
Yeah.
in the on the business. So my aspect on that is you'll have to find mentors who can see the overall picture for your business and then guide you that this is the thing that you might find suitable for you, or you might find profitable for you. So
Yeah, I
my
completely agree. And it's as you that's a really good point. It's like almost like widening kind of what you can see. Because as a business owner, it's
yeah,
very, very easy to fall into like this tunnel vision because you're so obsessed with growing your business and getting new clients and doing well. You can kind of like close in your view and all you can
yeah,
see is this. And
yeah,
just for someone to come in and just broaden that a little bit and just take a bird's eye view of everything. And like one little tweak or one little bit of information or changing something can make such a big difference, especially when you're scaling to the levels you guys are. That
yeah,
one little tweak or one little difference can add 10, 20K MRR to your business every
yeah,
month. And yeah, like one of my mentors used to say to me, it's like, having a mentor is kind of like having, the ability to time travel because if you don't know something or you go through trial and error, or you try and find out through making mistakes, it might take you a year or 2 years or however long to get to your destination. Whereas if you have someone telling you what to do, but also what not to do, you could get
yeah,
there in 2, 3, 4 months. So you're saving yourself so much time, you're getting to your desired outcome so much quicker. And that's why I like
yeah,
mentorship because it saves you a ton of effort, a ton of money also. If you're running ads or, if you're investing in content or whatever. And you learn and you grow when you're working with someone who's been there and done it. So that's personally what I like about it. And as you said, just
yeah,
having an extra pair of eyes to look in on something because you're so
yeah,
obsessed and you have that tunnel vision can be a huge help.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
So we'll finish it on this. We'll finish it on this. Maybe like someone who's watching this, they're maybe starting their agency or they have started their agency. They've got a couple of clients, but they're frustrated with their progress. They can't really, they haven't achieved their goals or they haven't grown as fast as they thought they would. They're maybe on the fence about getting coaching or mentoring or joining agency accelerator. What would you say to them? What advice would you give to them? And we'll finish on that.
So my advice would be you map all your things that you're currently doing on the paper, and then you need to find help for that. Because if you have already exhausted your ideas, you need someone who can give you an bird's eye view. So I would obviously say you need to find mentorship for that. That's what we did, and it has been working for us. So I would always suggest you go to that route.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks very much for your time, Tyler. Really, really appreciate it. Appreciate you hopping on. Thanks for doing this,
Yeah.
man. I hope you all really enjoyed that student interview. It was a ton of fun to film. If you're currently scaling your own agency and struggling to land your first 5 to 10 clients, I still have a few slots open in my one-to-one mentorship program for this month. Inside, I'm guaranteeing you your first 5 agency clients, and the results we've been getting have been absolutely insane. So if this sounds of interest to you, click on the link below this video and book in a call. I look forward to speaking to you.